I shouldn't have to explain that people who are worried about getting sent back to their home country do not want to commit an exorbitant amount of crimes in the United States as a population statistic, because if they were, that would be bad for them. So apparently driving in Florida is about to become a little more awkward for a lot of people. And I don't know why this has to be a thing. Like, Desantis, do you think before you okay laws? Seriously, does Ron DeSantis use his brain? I don't think he does. But we're going to get into that here in just a little bit. First, let's get into the fan art section. And it begins with a coin burger from Satoki Nijikawa. I'm just going to walk away from this one. The next one we have here is from a Nubian. Suris slipped and started saying my name instead of Anubis, and Axo started a cult about me, so now I'm lore and it's canon, and Suris doesn't care because I made him suffer. You made me lore, now I have a cult. Yeah? Get fucked, Nubian. The next one we have here is from Mike the Gamer. Depressed Netcoin. This is a depressed netcoin. This is now a thing. I just coins! Anyway, let's get away from all that. As always, everybody, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. With that said, if you haven't already hopped onto the Discord, or hit the bell notification icon, or hit the like button. Those are all things you should probably do. I'm done stalling. Let's get into this now. So apparently, there are 5 state driver's licenses that will no longer be valid in Florida because they have put a new immigration law in place. What? Driver's licenses from 5 states are no longer valid in Florida. The crackdown on out-of-state licenses is part of a larger immigration legislation by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis that went into effect on the 1st of July. The bill prohibits the issuance of driver licenses to anyone who does not provide proof of lawful presence in the United States and specifies that out-of-state driver's licenses issued exclusively to undocumented immigrants are invalid in Florida. Anyone presenting an invalid out-of-state driver's license during a traffic stop will be subject to a citation for driving without a driver's license, despite the fact that they are in fact driving with a driver's license. The Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles published a list of out-of-state license classes that are invalid in Florida. Connecticut licenses that indicate not for federal identification, Delaware licenses that indicate driving privilege only, Hawaii licenses that indicate limited purpose driver's license, Rhode Island licenses that say not for federal identification, Vermont licenses that indicate not for real ID purposes. The bill, SB 1718, also requires private companies with over 25 employees to now use E-Verify, an online employment verification system to prove the legal employment eligibility of workers. Can I just say, I don't give a shit if somebody is an illegal immigrant to these states. I really don't. Statistically, illegal immigrants are not a burden on our society. They actually inflate our federal abilities when it comes to budget and economy because they are actually very good for our economy. We've got some lovely federal statistics to back that up. On top of that, when it comes to the likelihood that they will engage in crimes, illegal immigrants are one of the lowest represented classes when it comes to crime statistics. You know why? Do you want to know the reason why that is? I can tell you the reason why. Turns out when you're worried about getting deported, the last thing you want to do is commit fucking crimes. Holy shit, I shouldn't have to explain this. I shouldn't have to explain that people who are worried about getting sent back to their home country do not want to commit an exorbitant amount of crimes in the United States as a population statistic, because if they were, that would be bad for them. Now, this is not to say that people generally always do things within their own self-interest. They don't. People are dumb. But usually this flavor of xenophobia comes with a understanding that people have. This base understanding that people are taught at a really young age that other people who are different than them are bad somehow because they are different. As a result, you tend to fear them. You think that illegal immigrants are coming for your jobs. You think they're coming for your life. You think they're coming to fuck your wife. You think they're coming to a lot of things, and not just porn. But here's the thing. People are people. In general, people are not going to be as much of a problem for you as you've been taught to think if you've been taught several xenophobic ideas about the people around you. Somebody having a different skin color or coming from another country does not automatically make them a threat to you in any way, shape, or form, but by and large, conservative politicians try to sell you on the idea that there is some evil other that you need to protect yourself from. That evil other could be gay people, trans people, non-Christians, Mexicans, Muslims. It doesn't matter who the nons are, who are supposed to be the others that you are supposed to hate. They'll find someone at some point that they can use. Also, it's really funny that Florida is going to try to annex, like 20% of its fucking working population with E-Verify. I'm just saying, Florida does happen to have a decent bit of illegal immigration, and a lot of its economy is propped up by some of that. But, I'm not here to tell Florida how to do its financial decisions. It's better that Ron DeSantis show himself as a strong governor who is going to work hard and tirelessly against the people who don't want to be America first. Not that that isn't a dog whistle or anything. Anyway, penalties will be applied to employers who knowingly have immigrants without documentation working for them, with severity dependent on how many undocumented immigrants are employed. Additionally, Florida hospitals that accept Medicaid will now be required to document whether or not a patient is a U.S. citizen, or whether or not the patient is an undocumented immigrant. Why does it matter? If a hospital is trying to treat you, why does it matter? It shouldn't fucking matter. It does not matter at all. All things considered, if somebody needs life-saving medicine or surgery, it doesn't matter what country they're from. All. They're people. Help them. Don't make them make a choice between dying or getting deported. Said, is he actively trying to collapse the state's economy? No, he's trying to do things that conservatives think are good. Conservatives think immigrants bad, so Ron DeSantis does things that reinforce immigrants bad to own the libs. Because that's how he sells himself and his platform. Continuing on, however, neither citizenship nor legal status will affect their medical care, and undocumented patients will not be reported to immigration authorities. Yeah, totally. That's, I believe that. 100%. I really, really do. Wink, wink. Definitely. DeSantis, who blames the Biden administration for what he says is a crisis at the southern border, said the bill and license crackdown is meant to combat illegal immigration, because always it is. Said someone who's in our country illegally and has violated our laws should not possess a government-issued ID, which allows them access to state-funded services and other privileges afforded to lawful residents. None of it fucking matters. It's okay for people to be able to get things like the ability to drive on roads and medical care. It doesn't fucking matter if they come in from another country. Holy shit, this is juvenile, stay away from my toys level bullshit, masquerading as political expediency. DeSantis said in a statement Wednesday that the Biden administration may continue to abdicate its responsibilities to secure our border. Again, secure our border against what? What the fuck is Mexico doing? Are they trying to invade us? Are they trying to kill us? Are they trying to rape the country? No, they're not trying to do any of that, because it would be stupid for them to. We don't need to secure a border when that's not fucking happening. No, you want to know? So the argument usually goes that, like, there's a giant drug cartel trade coming in from Mexico, and whether or not that's true is irrelevant. Let's talk about how you fight that. You don't fight it with walls. You don't do that. You know what you do? You legalize drugs. Just saying, you legalize drugs. Whatever the drug may be, No longer illegal. This allows black markets to fall apart. And when you make black markets that they think are being headed up by a bunch of illegal immigrants to fall apart, their main thing that they are concerned about just kind of dies off. But they're not going to do that because they have to attach a lot of drugs to immigrants as an idea. We actually found this out from the Nixon administration ages ago. They made crack cocaine get associated with black people. They made marijuana get associated with Mexicans. And they made acid and mushrooms and stuff like that get associated with hippies. And as a result, while they couldn't criminalize any of those groups, they could oppress each one of those groups by starting a war on drugs. Welcome to America, everybody. We don't address problems. We make up problems and then make up imaginary enemies and then throw them in camps. We did it with the Japanese. Anyway, critics say the new immigration legislation is among the harshest of state laws in the country and makes life harder for Florida's roughly 775,000 undocumented immigrants. And again, most of those immigrants are propping up the construction and harvesting economies in Florida. But Desantis doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about actually helping his citizens. He cares about looking strong in front of his constituents, because that's what conservatives do. Being correct is not the right course of action. Being based on factual data is not the right course of action. The right course of action in the conservative mindset is always looking strong. And they'll tell you that's not the case, and then their political campaigns will show you that that is in fact the case. But I digress. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you haven't already. And as always, don't be Florida.